This is a video about my first impressions of the Canon C300 Mark III and why I chose to upgrade to this camera from my Canon C100 Mark I. Here's a bit of history. I filmed on the C100 Mark I with the DAF upgrade for the past 7 years. It's been an amazing camera, very solid, beautiful image, ultra reliable. So why did I upgrade? There are 5 main reasons. 1. I wanted to be able to shoot in slow motion. I use slow motion quite a bit in my music videos, and it's also great for B-roll and commercials and corporate videos. The C300 Mark III has some great slow motion options, including being able to record 120 frames per second in 4K in RAW without any crop, or 180 frames per second in Super 16. 2. I wanted to be able to shoot in 4K. It's not something I'm asked for often, but it's pretty standard these days to be able to offer it. You get a better image when downsampled to 108p, and also you have the option for cropping images or for digital zooms when you shoot in 4K and are delivering in HD. Also, I do some green screen work, and it's always been better to shoot this in 4K. It makes for cleaner green screen keys. 3. I wanted to get closer to the image you get from an Alexa, that beautiful dynamic range, and you can achieve it with the C300 Mark III. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not Alexa quality, but for the price of the Canon C300 Mark III, it's pretty close. 4. I wanted to use higher quality codecs. The C100 shoots internally on AVC HD at bit rates of up to 24 megabits per second. Now I'd been using a Ninja 2 with my C100 so I could record either DNx HD or ProRes 422 while at the same time having a backup AVC HD recording on an SD card. But now I've got access to Canon RAW internally, and I can record backups internally on a second CF Express card. And that's Canon 4K RAW with a very manageable data rate. I can also record proxy files internally on an SD card, which helps with the edit. And finally, 5. I wanted to have SDI and timecode. I haven't been asked for it often, but I'd prefer to have it than to not have it. I did look at alternatives. I looked at the Red Komodo. I love the image from it, but I'd still have to buy a lot of kit to get it properly rigged out. I like using cameras that are pretty much ready to go out of the box, but that's just what suits me. I work in a lot of music videos and commercials, and I shoot a lot of interviews. I also shoot films, but more often than not, I've other camera operators with me on film shoots, so I can concentrate on directing. Those camera ops also join me on bigger commercial shoots, and they bring along their Arri cams or their F5s, all their gear. So in that way, I'm always covered for what I need for any job. But when I'm shooting solo, I want a camera that's pretty much ready to go without much rigging. I also love the specs of the Sony FX9, but my lenses are Canon, and I'm used to Canon cameras. I also prefer the image from the Canon, but that's just a personal thing. Now, that being said, I have a Sony a6300, which I've been using for years, and which has impressed me from day one with the quality of the image from such a small camera. I use the a6300 mostly on a gimbal, and I've shot full commercial videos on it. It's really a wonderful camera. But back to the C300 Mark III. I love the form factor of the Canon cinema line. That could be because I've been using them for so long. I mean, I bought a 550D, a T2i way back at the start of the DSLR revolution. Then I upgraded to a C100, so maybe it's just habit. But look at it. All the buttons are nicely laid out. Everything is at your fingertips. It has a touchscreen, which is very useful when focusing on different objects or people on screen, and it creates a really beautiful image, and that's the most important thing. There are lots of videos out there that go into the specifics of this camera, so there's no point in repeating what's already been said. The reason I made this video was to talk about the Canon C300 Mark III from my own perspective, and the reason why I finally upgraded from the C100, which was and still is an excellent camera. So what else do I like about the Canon C300 Mark III? I like the shape and the weight of it. It's easy to use handheld, and it can be used on a gimbal, although I wouldn't want to be carrying it on a gimbal all day, but it's still a small camera and very usable for short handheld gimbal shots. I love the image from the camera, the wonderful dynamic range. I've been experimenting with RAW and XF AVC and all ion long GOP. I can't fault the image. In all cases, it's easy to grade. There's more latitude with RAW for sure, but long GOP is perfect for interviews and for corporate video, and it won't kill your storage. The autofocus is great. It has support for touch autofocus and face detection autofocus, and the autofocus works when recording slow motion, though you can't do tracking or face detection above 60 frames per second. I like the modularity of the body, the fact you can use Canon's viewfinder and add extension modules if you like. So what don't I like about the camera? I don't like the way the A60 batteries stick out of the back. I might upgrade to a V-mount at some stage, but for now my A60s are working well and lasting as long as I need. But I wish they didn't stick out like they do. Also, the recording media is expensive. Reliable CF Express cards are very expensive right now, but hopefully they'll come down in price. The camera itself is expensive, but it's a jack of all trades, and it's a camera you won't need to upgrade for a long time. It would also be great if there was a handy touchscreen menu, but this isn't a sticking point for me. So that's it for my review of the Canon C300 Mark III. I'm not sponsored by Canon or anyone else, so this video is straight up my honest impressions of this camera, and so far, I'm loving it.